we were glad he was gone. It's been kind of scary. Everybody's been really on high alert up here.
Good evening, and we begin at 5 with the 3-day search for a fugitive in Northwest Oregon, and one that has finally come to a safe conclusion, with the final moments playing out right in a woman's backyard. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm David Mulco. Investigators have now arrested the suspect, 41-year-old Kevin Reynolds. He is not only wanted for armed robbery, but also accused of shooting at someone while trying to evade police. Tim Gordon joins us tonight in Rainier. And Tim, I imagine this is a huge relief for so many people in those communities.
Well, it is, Dave. After all, you mentioned the gunfire that started this on Tuesday. That had law enforcement scrambling, and people all along Highway 30 from Rainier to Westport scared. 41-year-old Kevin Reynolds is in custody after a 3-day manhunt. Reynolds was wanted on a variety of felony charges connected to an armed robbery in Cowlitz County a few weeks back. On Tuesday, Columbia County authorities learned he was staying in Rainier around Heath Road and Old Rainier Road. And when they went to get him, they say Reynolds fired a gun toward a bystander and got away. This happened near Rainier schools, which were shut down today because Reynolds was still on the run.
We're not freaked out. We're just taking the necessary precautions.
Today, we found a couple who live nearby out to walk the dog, but wary.
You know, it used to be you'd close down school for snow day.
A weird time to live in.
I know.
Yeah.
And now it's a potential shooter. And how does that impact kids?
But since yesterday, the Columbia County Sheriff was working with the Clatsop County Sheriff after Reynolds was spotted on a doorbell camera outside a house near Westport Wednesday evening, and at a Chevron station in Westport, too. From here, it seems Reynolds headed for the hills up a rural road nearby.
They were standing with guns down by the trees, and then all of a sudden they called and said, "Get out."
This woman did not want us to show her face, but it was on her property, in her yellow shed, that deputies found Reynolds. They'd been searching for him in this area overnight and zeroed in on the shed late Thursday morning.
They came over and said he was in there. We could hear him because they were, "Get out," the dogs were barking and whatever. So we were glad he was gone. It's been kind of scary. Everybody's been really on high alert up here.
Now relief that a fugitive considered armed and dangerous is behind bars.
We're all happy. We told the police we really appreciated it, and there was a lot of police presence. So that was great that they were here helping us.
And now Reynolds will face those original charges and some additional ones based on what's happened the past few days. I talked to the Columbia County Sheriff, who says that includes attempted murder for that shooting incident on Tuesday. David, back to you.
Glad he is off the street. Tim Gordon in Rainier tonight. Thank you, Tim. Let's take you to Washington County, where authorities are investigating an apparent murder-suicide. Now, sheriff's deputies say they found 2 people shot dead near a home last night. This was near Shoals Ferry Road and Shoals Sherwood Road in a rural part of the county. Deputies say they also found the suspect who had shot himself. He later died at the hospital. Investigators say it appears he shot the other 2 during an argument. An update on a shooting by a Multnomah County Sheriff's deputy. Today, the DA found that deputy was justified when he shot a suspect in Portland's Lloyd district last month. Now, according to the sheriff's office, Deputy Rory McPherson pulled over a couple he believed was driving a stolen car. While arresting the driver, a woman in the car pointed a gun at the deputy, and the deputy shot her. The couple escaped briefly before crashing a few blocks away. They were both treated and are now facing criminal charges. The DA's office says Deputy McPherson's actions were not criminal. He has since returned to work. Well, let's turn now to a gusty day around our area. Strong winds knocking out power and bringing down trees, and that includes this one near Northeast 9th in Tillamook in Portland. It landed right between 2 houses there. Right now, there are several thousand people without power across Clark County and Portland, including about 1,000 in the West Hills. Those numbers, though, have been decreasing throughout the day as crews work to get the lights back on. Let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Matt Zaffino now. Matt, seems like those winds are still going kind of strong.
Yeah, they are. They're really going strongly, David, and they're going to back off a little bit tonight. But look at these gusts that we've had today. Up in the Gorge, 80 miles an hour at Crown Point. Corbett 78, Troutdale a gust to 40, and the West Hills 45. I think there's been some higher gusts as well, but again, really impressive with the winds we've been seeing. Even Government Camp had a gust of 61 miles an hour. You look at the winds right now, though. These are the sustained winds, not the gusts. And the strongest ones, Portland and Troutdale, stronger than what we're getting out on the Gorge at the moment, which is interesting. We see that happen sometimes as the east wind begins to become confined more to the Gorge and then begins to weaken a bit, which is it's doing overnight tonight, which is why our wind advisory will expire tomorrow. Meanwhile, out of the coast, beautiful there, but look, east winds extend even out to and offshore. So when you look at the watches and warnings maps, there's not a lot out here, but there are wind warnings on the west side of the Cascades in Washington, and then the same thing here in the Portland area. We've got that wind advisory until 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. The Gorge, the high wind warning also until that same time, because the winds will actually begin to ease now through the night and then really drop off below warning thresholds tomorrow morning. So again, things will improve, but they don't ever really go away. Not tomorrow, not Saturday, and even on Sunday, it's going to remain breezy. A lot of times, David, we get this east wind, takes a major shift in the weather pattern to get rid of it, and that's not going to happen before next week. We'll talk about Thanksgiving forecasts a little later. Back to you.
Not for a while. Thank you, Matt. Speaking of top gusts, by the way, let's check in with Brian Clerkley out at Crown Point in the Gorge. Brian, what's it like right now?
Hey, David. Yeah, the wind seems to be dying down a little bit, but the gusts have been powerful all day. I found it hard to keep my balance out here. I'm kind of scared that, I was kind of scared that I was going to be knocked over, but they're kind of picking up again, and we've got a lot of people coming just to feel how powerful this wind is. The Columbia River Gorge is the only major break in an otherwise continuous wall of mountains. So when cold air pulls on the east side of the mountains, it funnels through the gorge, and it's the perfect wind tunnel, and Crown Point is one of the windiest places in Oregon.
It's unreal because you go to walk and a gust of wind to hit you and it just moves you off course. It about blows you over. It's just amazing, and it's cold.
On Wednesday of this week, the top wind gust up here was 94 miles per hour. And like I said, people are still coming just to feel how powerful the wind is. So if you're going to come up here, please bundle up and put on a hat or something like that, because this wind is cold. And here it goes again, David. It's starting to pick up again, and I'm hoping I don't get knocked over. So
yeah, stay safe out there, you and the crew. We're glad you're up there for us. Brian Clerkley reporting tonight. Thank you. Developing this evening, a major joint operation against alleged drug traffickers in Portland's Old Town. It's netted law enforcement thousands of fentanyl pills and more than a dozen arrests. Mike Benner joins us tonight from outside police headquarters. Mike, police and their partners not just targeting drugs here, but also violence.
Yeah, that's right, David. According to police, drugs and the sale of drugs can be linked to a recent spike in violence, and that is really the motivation behind this mission that police say was successful. I want to go ahead and show you some video of this two-day mission that happened on Tuesday and Wednesday. This video is from the Portland Police Bureau. They tell us over the course of the 2 days they seized thousands of fentanyl pills, $5 grand in cash, a gun, and a stolen car. They also made 14 arrests. We caught up with Captain James Crooker, who says this mission restores a sense of safety and livability in Old Town. He adds the Police Bureau did not do this alone. They had help from the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office as well as some federal partners.
We've been planning this for a few weeks, and we're trying to get back into the game of enforcement with our partners. This is not just something that we do as the Portland Police Bureau or even as Central Precinct. Everybody's short-staffed, so we lean and rely on our partners.
And police say while this mission was successful, it's only partly responsible for improving Old Town. Police say that the officers who patrol the entertainment district there on weekend nights played a big role as well. Let's send it back to you.
Mike Benner reporting. Thank you, Mike.